Started. Welcome to the University of Texas at San Antonio's last virtual visit for the day. My name is Dayla Elliott. I currently work and serve as a program specialist at the institution. What that means in my role is that I oversee the day-to-day function of our downtown campus welcome center. I'm also an alum of the school as well, so it's always a great privilege to be one of the individuals to provide some information to those that are interested in UTSA. I also finally will be serving as one of your moderators for this afternoon's time. We will basically, just to give you an idea about how we'll spend the next hour or so, is that I'll start off covering some information, some very general information, resources that are available on the Future Roadrunner portion of the university's website. We'll have two of our ambassadors that are current students at UTSA cover a few of the hotspots. I'll speak a little bit more about where UTSA is headed, and then we'll finish our time with the Q&A panel with our other moderator asking some of our students a few questions, both that we have picked from the chat box as well as a few questions that our moderator will have of her own. For those that weren't able to register in advance for this virtual visit, the link that's on your screen is actually going to be one that we'll provide at the end of the time, so that way you have a way to register, so we can document that you were with us and can let you know about any upcoming events. On behalf of the group of individuals that are here in the institution at large, we do appreciate and thank you for being with us this afternoon. In a moment here, I'm going to pass it over to the two ambassadors that are going to speak a little bit later about the hotspots, but we'll give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, and they can give you a little bit more info about their time not only at UTSA, but some fun facts about themselves. You might ask, you've mentioned the ambassadors a few times. Who or what are they? A lot could be said about the program, but to be brief, the ambassador organization is a large student service organization that has been in existence since the late 1980s and has grown to have a few different pathways since that point in time. The photo on your screen is actually most of the ambassadors at our last cluster of commencement ceremonies. This photo was taken in December of 2019. We had 3 ceremonies that month, and this photo was taken right after that first ceremony and before the second. At this point in time, I'm going to go ahead quickly and pass it over to Stephanie and Natalie to introduce themselves. They're going to let you know where they're from, what they are studying, what year in school that they are, and finally, a fun fact about themselves. Stephanie?
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie. I am a senior at UTSA, and I will be graduating this fall with a degree in interdisciplinary studies and a concentration in bilingual education. A fun fact about me is that I love Netflix, but I haven't had a lot of time to watch any shows because I have so much. So yeah, don't ask me about any shows right now because I haven't seen any. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them on our chat box and we'll be happy.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie. I'm a sophomore at UTSA majoring in psychology with a minor in women's studies, also doing some gender studies. I am from Weslaco, Texas, which is in the Rio Grande Valley. A fun fact about me, I was born with an extra thumb, but my parents took it off when I was younger, so it's not there anymore. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat.
Thank you so much, ladies. We do look forward to hearing from you both again in a few minutes to cover some of those hotspots. Did want to give you all an opportunity to hear from them before they come on back shortly. Some practical items just in view of our time is that we are asking everyone to mute your microphone, turn off your video, just so we can minimize any distraction as we move through the next 50 minutes or so. Madeline, if you don't know how to do that, we'll be performing a sweep to make sure everybody's microphone and video is turned off. But we do want our time to be one of interaction. So just like Natalie mentioned, we are encouraging you to utilize the chat box. You'll simply hover over the bottom of your screen. You'll click on the chat bubble. When you click on it, a chat box will open up. And there will be, as you can see, the other ambassadors introducing themselves. They'll also be providing additional information about what's being spoken over in the presentation. And then primarily, that's also for you to ask any questions that you have. We'll have some of those questions, or save some of them rather, for the end of our time with the Q&A panel, but the other ambassadors will be answering those questions as they are dropped in the chat box and we move throughout our time. Just as the other ambassadors are introducing themselves, we encourage any of our guests to introduce yourself. You can simply let us know what your name is, where you are dialing in from, so to speak, and then what area of study you plan to pursue should you go to UTSA. Any questions that we're not able to touch on, we definitely will make sure to circle back to you. We'll get contact information so that way we can make sure to relay that to you. We also, before we break, will provide that form for those that weren't able to register to do so before we end our time. Another way that we stay in contact with newly admitted and prospective students is on social media. Our handle for those two groups of folks is at UTSA Future RR, RR being short for our mascot, which is a Roadrunner. Our hand sign is at the top of the screen there. The thumb is going to be the head of the Roadrunner, and the pinky is the tail of the Roadrunner. On social media, we'll share a lot of helpful information about documentation that needs to be submitted, events that are coming up, in this case, a lot of virtual events, deadlines for admission, really all the need to know info, which is going to be shared there, plus fun stuff that's happening at the institution. While we're not physically able to lead you around on campus today, since we are virtually together, we do want you to utilize the hashtag UTSA Tour. That way you can share with those that you're connected with on social media how your time with us today went. UTSA is located in one of the biggest cities in the nation. The city is growing quite rapidly, and the institution itself is also growing quite quickly. So there's this awesome dynamic and sphere in which there's a lot of opportunity for students to take advantage of from day one and in view of graduation. This photo, if you're not familiar with the San Antonio area, is a downtown night view of the city. This building that my cursor is hovering over is the Alamo Dome. And historically, that's where we have had concerts, sporting events at. A fun fact as it pertains to UTSA is that our football team plays all of their home games inside of the Alamo Dome. So whether it's really cold outside, it's really hot outside, and obviously in South Texas, it's going to be more of the latter situation. We enjoy the games in the AC. We do have 4 campuses. There's the main campus, which primarily houses everything for the most part. Secondly, there's the downtown campus, which houses 2 of the 9 colleges at UTSA. So the College of Architecture and the College for Health, Community, and Policy are at the downtown campus. All the other areas of study, or all the other colleges rather, are going to be at the main. Thirdly, there's the Hemisphere Park campus, which is better known as the Institute of Texan Cultures. That's one of over 200 Smithsonian affiliates in the United States. So a ton of educational exhibits, live shows that take place there throughout the year. Not only for the UTSA community to take advantage of, but really the city at large. Finally, Park West, that's our newest athletic complex. Our cross-country, track, and soccer teams practice there and have their home games and meets at that facility. We will provide, if we haven't done so already, some transportation options in the chat box. That way, you know what are your options, either in just getting around the main campus as it pertains to shuttles, or if you're a student who's pursuing an area of study at the downtown campus, you live in the area of the main campus and you come to San Antonio without an automobile, I always want to get back and forth between the 2 campuses. Fortunately, we do have you covered on that front. And speaking of the links that the ambassadors are dropping into the chat box, we do encourage you to open up a Word document on your computer or laptop, or the notes application on your cell phone. That way you can copy and paste the information that they are sharing, especially those links, into either the notes app or the Word document. So that way you can move through that information and review it at a later point in time at your own pace. Areas of study. We have nearly 200 degree programs. And so that brochure piece that's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen actually has a list of those degree programs. But certainly because we're not able to be together in person, we still wanted to make sure to get you that info. So that link that's on the screen, as well as that's been dropped in the chat box, is a way for you to access that brochure piece electronically, seeing a list of those degree programs, as well as admission information, admission criteria and its requirements. You know if you're admissible or not, what you need to submit as you move through the admissions process, financial aid information, as well as different areas of student life and student housing on campus. So definitely encourage you to make note of that. Another great resource is going to be our virtual tour. So this time that we're spending together is what we're calling a virtual visit. We are going to cover a few of the hotspots on campus, plus you get to hear from UTSA students, both in those that are speaking over those hotspots as well as those that are in the chat box. And you can't put a price tag on being able to hear from them, quite frankly. But obviously the virtual tour is going to be helpful because you'll be able to see all of the different spots, both at the main and downtown campuses, and again, at your own pace. It is going to be on the Welcome Centers portion of the university's website. There is a navigation bar to help you move through those different spots on campus. There's a young lady named Daisy that offers optional commentary. There are directional icons that help you move through those different spots on campus. And finally, some really clean 360 views and video of those different spots. That way you just get a better feel of what is available and what it looks like, and you have not been able to see it in person. This is the first of two reminders that we're going to drop, encouraging you to drop questions into that chat box. That way we can answer those things as it pertains to UTSA and provide you additional information about those items. At this point in time, I am going to go ahead and pass it over to Stephanie, who's going to start with our first hotspot, the John Peace Library, better known as the JPL.
Hello again. Okay, so we are going to start this tour at the John Peace Library building. It has 4 floors. It is known as the JPL. It is named after a San Antonio attorney who donated more than 900 books to UTS. Today, the library has more than 500 books and e-sources available for all students to use. On the first floor, you're going to find the Fiscal Service Office. They oversee tuition, bills, and financial aid. They also have a one-stop enrollment center. This is where you can information regarding all aspects of undergraduate education, academic records, financial aid, registration. They have the Office of Veteran and Military Affairs, which ensures that all students receive their federal educational benefits. It handles the Hazelwood exception and GI Bill. And they also have the UTSA food court, which is also there on the first floor. They have a lot of options like Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, Subway, Smoothie King, and more. And they have a pot market where you can buy snacks and drinks and sandwiches if you're in a hurry and you don't want to wait in the long lines. And a fun fact about the food court is that Chick-fil-A and Starbucks are open until 2 a.m. Monday through Thursday, which is perfect if you're planning late night study sessions at the library. So on the second floor, you're going to find the computer lab, and there are more than 270 computers available for all students to use. Sorry. You can check out laptops, calculators, books, and more. And you can check out the textbooks for 2 hours. They have textbooks there for your classes. So if you decide that you don't want to spend one semester, then you can definitely check them out at the library for 2 hours. You can scan them, or you can take pictures of them if you don't mind reading from the small screen. And then on the third floor, you're going to the area where the actual books are at. They also have study rooms available. So if you're working with a group and need a quiet space, you can reserve it for 2 hours, or your partner can reserve it for an extra 2. So it's really up to you to see how long you want to be there. And something really cool about the library is that every semester we get $12 on our printing account service. So even if we spend it all by December, we will get another $12 for spring. $12 is a lot of money. Normally we really don't spend it all in one semester, but it's still nice to know that we have all that available. And they also have tutoring services as well, whether it's math or writing and more. So one of my favorite is the writing center. They have tutors who can help you if you're having trouble with your writing process. They won't write your paper for you, but they are amazing at helping us. So yeah, that is all I have for this slide. Okay, awesome. So our next hotspot is going to be the Sombrilla. It is my favorite spot on campus. It is a covered central plaza right outside of the JPL, and it is referred to as the heart of the academic buildings because it's right in the middle. So you don't have to walk a long way before actually getting there from your classes. Sombrilla means umbrella in Spanish. So as you can see from the pictures, it is a shaded area with glass windows on the top. So if it rains, you'd still be able to enjoy the outside atmosphere. And it is super relaxing. You can eat your lunch there, do some homework, or just hang out with your friends, which is what I like to do. There's just so much going on all the time, and you're able to see what's happening around campus. All the organizations, they set up there. So if you want to ask them for information, they'll be there a lot of days. So yeah, it's super relaxing, like I said. And then the fountain you see right here is the Fountain of Luck. It is my favorite. I love the Fountain of Luck. So a fun fact about the Fountain of Luck is that the water that you see is actually recycled water from the units in the JPO building. And some say that if you touch the fountain with your pinky while doing the rowdy sign, you will get all A's on your final exams. However, just make sure that it's your pinky because if you go all the way, you will have to pay a fine and it's like $250. But I would not want to spend $250 on that. And also, please study. And it is also one of the most populated area on campus. Many UTSA events take place in the Sombria. And the picture you see is actually Fiesta at UTSA. It is a super big event. So I'm not sure if you're from San Antonio, but just in case you don't know, every year the city celebrates this event named Fiesta, which is a huge deal. They have all these events that celebrate San Antonio's Hispanic culture. So UTSA has their own version of Fiesta as well. And it is once in springtime. Last year it was like right before Easter, so they had Easter eggs and it was so fun. They have music and they just have a lot of stuff going on. And it is a great opportunity for all organizations to raise money by selling food, drinks, t-shirts, and stuff like that. And if you're not in an organization, it's still really awesome because you get to taste different types of food. And they also sell t-shirts. Last year they had one with Rowdy celebrating his 50th birthday with a big cake, and it is one of my favorite t-shirts at UTSA. So I only got it for like $5. So yeah, this pretty much sums up the Sombria Plaza for me. We will be moving on to the next slides shortly. And please remember that if you have any questions, just put them on the chat box.
All right, so to transition to the student lifestyle at campus, I'm going to start with our student union. There's 2 floors to it. So on that second floor, we have an office called the University Career Center. So what they mainly do is anything pertaining to your career, whether it's from helping your resume, so like building it up, or if you've never had one before, they can help you with that. Teaching you how to do a cover letter, mock interviewing, where it's just a fake interview. You go in to sit down and they'll ask you questions that are normally asked just to prepare you and build up your confidence for the real thing. They even have a career closet in there. So let's say if you don't own any slacks or blazers, anything like that, and you needed one for an interview or for a career fair, you could rent you could rent an outfit out from the career center, and all the clothes are donated from the shops at La Cantera. My bad. They also have career counseling in there. So let's say you're indecisive about your major or you're still undeclared, they could find a pathway that's best fit for you before you finalize anything with your advisor. Also, on that second floor of the student union, we have something called the Rotama, which is our free movie theater on campus. They show recent movies that have just left the theaters but haven't yet hit Netflix or Redbox or DVD, anything like that. They'll also have some classics in there as well. So, like example, the entire month of October, they show nothing but horror movies, and they'll show like the original Scream and Gremlins, all that stuff from the 80s, 90s, just awesome things. And it's free for students, and they serve free popcorn. You could bring your own snacks as well if you wanted to, pillows, blankets, anything really. It's college, why not? So definitely take advantage of it. But going on to the first floor, we have our bookstore. So if you wanted to actually buy or rent out your textbooks physically and take them home, that's where you would do so. We have something called textbook price matching. So let's say if you find a textbook at UTSA, the exact same one, but online on like eBay, Amazon, Chegg for cheaper, you just have to show the front desk and you can buy it at UTSA for the price it is online. So you don't have to pay any extra for it to come in earlier or pay for shipping and handling, all that stuff. We also have school supplies, so like pens, pencils, scantrons, blue books, lab coats, lab glasses, anything like that, even backpacks. We even have some essentials in there, so like shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, cup noodles if you needed to get some really quick. UTSA tries to make itself really convenient for students because also on the student life side is where the dorms are going to be at. Another thing at the UTSA bookstore is UTSA Apparel. So if you're looking to buy a t-shirt or a jacket or anything tangible that's blue or orange or it says UTSA on it, it's going to be at the bookstore. There's something for everybody. I promise you that. Going on to the University Paseo, the Paseo is supposed to mimic the Riverwalk as it is downtown San Antonio. So the flow of the bricks kind of go on the flow of the river. And the very back, y'all can kind of look in the very back, there's a bridge peeking out between the trees. That bridge is also there to mimic the bridges as it is downtown. So starting off on our right side of the Paseo is just an extension of the Student Union. We'll have something called Rowdy Mart, which is basically a gas station with no gas. So just mainly snacks in there. So if you wanted some hot Cheetos and Gatorade really quick, you can do so. Get some there really quick. A few doors down is our Rio's hair salon. So if you needed a haircut, wanted to dye your hair, or needed your eyebrows threaded, you could do so there as well. They are discounted prices, so a haircut can go for as low as $7, and they're all licensed cosmetologists, so they wouldn't butcher your hair. Or botch your hair, my bad. Even a few steps further down is our Roadrunner Express store. So if you wanted anything cheap, that's the store for you. All UTSA apparel in there is like at least $8 to $10, and they're really nice shirts as well. You can also get the cheapest Scantrons there. They're a few cents less than it is at the bookstore. You could also get your discounted SeaWorld, Six Flags, and Spurs tickets. So keep that in mind. Then the next office down is our campus technology store. So anything like from laptops to iPads to chargers, headphones, earphones, AirPods, that's the store for you. They do have them at a discounted price, so it's not going to be as expensive as it is at like Walmart or eBay. My bad, Best Buy. Best Buy. And as a UTSA student, you do get Microsoft programs for free. But if you didn't know how to install it onto your device, you would just take it to the technology store and they could do it for you there. Even further down, we do have another Starbucks here at UTSA, and it's a lounge in Starbucks. So you can actually go and sit down. There's dim lighting, and they even have music playing. So if you wanted to get away from the academic side, just drink your coffee. It's a little nice environment. That is an option as well. And then we finally have our Student Union Cafe. It's our second cafe here at UTSA, and we have restaurants from Rowdy's Global Kitchen, which is just a Mediterranean version of Chipotle. They'll change up the menu every month or so. So 1 month it'll be Mexican food, and the next it'll be like Jamaican food. So really, really interesting restaurant. And then we also have Panda Express, something called Sliced Pizza and Wings. My bad for word stumbles. Sliced Pizza and Wings is kind of like our own personal Pizza Hut. The wings are the best wings. It's the best restaurant on campus. I can promise you that. They don't sauce your wings for you. You can sauce them yourself. So I highly recommend the garlic parmesan sauce for the wings because it's amazing for like $5 too. And then we have an on-campus Chili's. So this Chili's is different than a regular Chili's just because we don't have any waiters or waitresses. So that means we don't have to leave a tip because they know in college we kind of can't leave a generous tip. So that was generous enough for them. And then going on to the left side is our HEB Student Union. So that lit up building in the middle, that's our HEBSU. So on that first floor, it's mainly just offices for student organizations. So for example, student government, their office is there. Greek life, if you guys are interested in Greek life, joining a sorority or a fraternity, those are options here at UTSA, and I'm pretty sure somebody will leave a link for it as well. We even have Roadrunner Productions, so if y'all ever see something on social media and it's a video, Roadrunner Productions more than likely made it, and if you're interested in anything like that, photography or film, definitely join that club. But on the second floor of our Paseo, we have something called the Roost, and it's our video gaming room. So we have anything from the original Wii to the Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, the Nintendo Switch. We also have ping pong tables, pool tables, air hockey tables, and foosball tables. So you don't have to bring any games. They have everything there for you, all the controllers, everything. But if there's a game that we do not have, you can actually request it, and the staff will bring it here to the Roost just for you and anybody else who would want to play it as well. There's video gaming tournaments too. So if y'all are familiar with Super Smash Ultimate, you can win the entire tournament in that game. So when you win, you get a free t-shirt and they'll put your name on the wall, and they also post you on Twitter until somebody beats you that next week or until the next tournament happens. So something really cool. But this is all that I have for our Paseo and Student Union section. If there's any questions on like the wings or anything like that, you can put them in the chat. But going on to our campus rec. So we do have a rock wall within our campus rec. It is 54.5 feet tall. There's no additional fees to climb it. We do have a rock wall climbing club if you are interested in that. All of the staff is specially trained to assist you when you're actually climbing it. Also on our rec, we have 4 basketball courts, but that's not where our basketball team plays per se. That's mainly for our intramural sports and club sports, or just to play ball in the meantime. So Intramural Sports, they are free sports teams here at UTSA, and they're kind of just for fun, something to do after school, after work, just to keep athleticism within your routine. You can pick your own teammates, and you can also pick your own team name. So something really fun, really interesting. And there's also rec fields. So if you're interested in rugby, lacrosse, or even frisbee, that's an option there as well. And then going on to club sports. Club sports have a small fee, and you have to try out for them just because they'll play against other club sports from other universities, and they'll travel, and they do get their own uniform. So they'll actually go to UNT, Texas Tech, and Baylor, all that stuff, and then vice versa. So if you wanted to still be athletic but more on the competitive side, I highly recommend club sports. Also on that first floor, we have a workout area, and there's cardio machines, a little CrossFit area, but it's also where our free weight area is at. So if you're looking to squat heavy weights, bench press, any leg machines, anything like that is going to be on that first floor. So where that lady is going like this, that middle picture, that is the free weight area. We even have front desk where you can check out belts for where you're going to squat heavy weights. There's full body towels to check out for the showers, and they have plenty of towels, and they wash all of them. There's hand towels as well to wipe off your sweat, and we do have resistant bands to check out as well. So going on to our second floor, if we were to go up the stairs right now and then stop in the middle, there's a big window, and once you look out that window, you can see the two pools located at the rec. So we have one that's an Olympic style pool. So if y'all ever seen those pools with those lanes, that's what it basically is. And then we just have a regular looking pool as well. There's like a volleyball net and a basketball net as well, just for fun. The pools heat up in the winter time just to make up for it being outdoors. So if you still wanted to swim while it's cold out, we have that option available. Going on to the second floor, there's another cardio area, and then we do have our indoor track. So our indoor track is 1/6 of a mile. So 6 laps around that whole track is 1 full mile. It is carpeted so you don't get shin splits, and then there's a clock above running to see if you wanted to time how slow or how fast you're going, and there's an arrow, and the arrows will light up for 1 hour, and it'll switch to the other direction for the next hour. Those arrows are there so we all know to go one way and we don't collide into each other, and so we can work out both sides of our body as well. So be on the lookout for that clock. And then going down the hallway of that second floor, there are classrooms that we're going to pass by, and those are for our group exercising classrooms. There's kickboxing, there's cycling classes, there's even one called Power Nap where you meditate for 5 minutes and then nap for 20 minutes afterwards. So UTSA has a whole range of workout classes. I'm pretty sure if you really wanted to know more information, we could provide the link for that as well. But in the very back of the hallway of that second floor is something called our demo kitchen, something to highly take advantage of here at UTSA because it's free food. So all you have to do is just sign up for a class whenever they're available, and they'll just teach you how to cook healthy dishes. You don't have to bring any ingredients, any pots or pans. You don't even know how to cook, have any experience cooking. They will teach you. And whatever you cook in the end, you can take home to eat or eat it there. So they'll make sushi, Baja fish tacos, avocado zucchini noodles, some healthy burgers as well. There's a whole menu if you guys are interested. So something really cool. And then we also have another workout area, but it's kind of a combination of everything that I've talked about so far. So there is a squat machine there, and there's also body machines and cardio as well. So you'll have a little bit of everything, and it's a lot less loud up there than it is on the free weight area just because they're always dropping the weights. So that's my favorite place to go to work out whenever I do work out every once in a blue moon. But going on to our wellness center side, we do have student health services. So let's say if you're feeling sick or you have like a little weird rash you want to check out, it's basically our on-campus doctor's office. So if you have insurance, or if you have insurance and they accept it, it's completely free. But if you don't have insurance, or if they don't take your insurance, it's just a copay of $10. But if you were looking to having insurance in college, UTSA does provide health insurance. So just to keep that in mind, UTSA wants to take care of its students as best as possible. But going back to student health services, they all are certified doctors, nurses. You can see a doctor or a nurse, they prescribe medicine to you. So really awesome. And then we also have counseling services. Counseling services are all completely free. Everything's confidential if you're ever feeling off track, because college can be hard to manage sometimes no matter where you go. Here at UTSA, it is all completely free. There's therapists, counselors, social workers, psychologists, anybody and everybody you can think of, and I highly recommend them. They're really nice people, and there's specific groups for specific topics as well if you're into that. But that's all I really have for our campus rec. If you guys have any more questions, just put them in the chat. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for covering that so thoroughly. Thank you to Stephanie as well. And as thorough as they were in covering those 4 spots, that isn't even everything about those 4 spots as well as what is on campus to take advantage of, but definitely a great overview about what is available at the university, and of course, hearing their experiences and recommendations of that. Once again, as Natalie mentioned, drop any questions that you have about anything we covered thus far, as well as questions that you have in general and overall about UTSA. You want to make sure to answer those questions, and of course, we'll speak to them both now as well as in our Q&A portion here in a couple of minutes. To give you an idea of where UTSA is headed, specifically in terms of growth and becoming more of a better partner in bringing out the excellence in its students. There is a strategic plan, a master plan, if you will, that we have in terms of goals that we want to reach over the next 8 to 10 years. As it pertains to enrollment, we're just over 32,000 students, but over that next decade or less, we want to reach 45,000 students. 45,000 students is an exciting goal, but it's also a lot of people. And obviously, when you think about that many people taking advantage of what's being offered at an institution, there obviously needs to be something put into place as it pertains to classrooms, resources and support for that many students, places to live, both on and in the immediate area of campus. So having said all of that, this is a bird's eye view of the main campus, not the main campus in its entirety, but at least a portion of it. Natalie just finished talking about the Recreation and Wellness Center, which is right here where my cursor is hovering. And really any building in the photo, in the picture rather, that has a brown, beige, or rust-colored roof is what already exists at UTSA. But everything else, the white buildings on the picture, are what is either going to be built or be rebuilt at the institution. So as you can see, a lot that will actually be coming up or is slated to come up in the next 8 to 10 years. To hone in a little bit on the main campus, one of the main entrances that we're going to build, the Paseo Verde, is going to be an entry point both for our own students as well as any visitors and guests. Roadrunner Village is going to be a shopping and eatery experience that will be provided right off of the campus grounds. We actually, at both the main and downtown campuses, have a very fortunate and unique situation with there are a lot of eateries, a lot of places to shop, and a lot of sources of entertainment. But Roadrunner Village will be an additional convenience, if you will, for our students that we also plan to add to that area. Shifting to the downtown campus, similarly, where my cursor is hovering, those buildings are buildings that already exist at the downtown campus. That large courtyard area, that large grassy area, is the buildings actually surround that area, and that's what we call Bill Miller Plaza. The 2 white buildings here, there's already a parking structure that's there, but it's only 2 levels, so we certainly will make that bigger so it can accommodate more cars. There are also lots that surround the different sides of the campus grounds where students, faculty, and staff are able to park additionally. But the white buildings that you see on both sides of the interstate will be additional classroom space for the 2 colleges that are housed down there. And the third, one of the bigger colleges at the institution, is slated to be added to that downtown campus area. And so obviously more space needs to be provided, and residence hall space as well. So we have 5 residence halls at the main campus. We're in the midst of building a 6th one. And so just like we've got a few housing options on campus at the main campus, we want to provide something similarly at the downtown campus. Finally, an entry pavilion, main entrance into the downtown campus that we plan to build. A link was provided for you to take a closer look at these renderings and much more, as well as the plans for that master / strategic plan. The university actually just gained an award last week for their master plan. So recognition given for putting something together so nicely. So it'll be great to see how these plans actually come to fruition over the next several years. So a lot of information. You might say, well, the campuses are beautiful, the ambassadors are beautiful, A lot of great info, but where do I get started? What's step one? How do I know if I'm admissible or if I've recently been admitted? What's next? How do I complete orientation? What do I do after I complete orientation? The admissions counselors are going to be great resources for you to move those items forward. You'll simply go to the Future Roadrunner portion of the university's website, future.utsa.edu. When you click on the contact link of that website, when you get to it, which is in the upper right-hand corner, the page that is brought up is that of a map of the state of Texas. You click on the region that you live in, and it'll bring up representatives that assist incoming freshmen and another group of representatives that assist transfer students. If you live out of state, not a problem. There are representatives assigned to assist you. And then finally, for our international students, the Office of International Admissions is going to be a great resource in moving things forward, at least assisting you with doing so. We actually, concerning admissions and much, much more, have info sessions that are happening throughout the week. So in our time, we're decisively and intentionally not getting into the nuts and bolts of admissions, financial aid, how to become what we call Rowdy ready, simply because of the constraint of time, but also because we have different groups of staff that are covering these items. So when you go to the Future Roadrunner portion of the university's website, you'll see a list of the different virtual info sessions. There is one for incoming freshmen for admissions, one for transfer student for admissions, financial aid, and if you need more info about those different areas of financial aid, if you've been admitted and need to know what to take care of next, there's a Rowdy Ready info session as well. So plenty for you to take advantage of in terms of hearing from those different groups of staff in those sessions. Admissions, financial aid, and enrollment services are all housed in what we call the One-Stop Enrollment Center. So while they're not obviously physically on campus, they are still open for business, so to speak, to assist students through video appointments that have been scheduled in advance. There's a live chat that they run on their website all day, and then they are responding to emails that both students and parents and guardians are sending their way. Now, the cherry on top, in my opinion, of any gathering to hear from the students and their experiences once again. So we're going to bring Stephanie and Natalie back, and then my coworker, Madeline, she will formally introduce herself. She's actually going to pull some questions from the chat box if any have come in. She'll, of course, be keeping her eye on that chat box as well as we go through this time, as well as asking some of her own questions that many times are asked when students have really are inquiring about the institution and being a college student overall. I'll go ahead and pass it over to her now. Madeline?
Dela, thanks so much for that introduction. Thank you to our visitors for being here today and joining us for a virtual visit. My name is Madeline. I have the privilege of working at our Welcome Center at main campus as an administrative associate, and I very much enjoy it. So if you have any questions, please do share them in our chat box, and I'll go ahead and add them to the queue. For the time being, I do have a question. It's one of my favorite to ask because, of course, Stephanie and Natalie covered a great deal of the hotspots on campus, but also the resources that come along with some of those areas on campus. And of course, some of our chat ambassadors have also done a great job at dropping links to those resources as well. So my question goes first to Stephanie and then Natalie. What is the resource, academic or otherwise, at UTSA that has benefited you the most?
Hi, Madeline. So there are so many resources at UTSA. There's like resources for every college that's in there. So I'm in the College of Education and Human Development. So the one that has worked great for me is the Academy of Teachers Excellence, which is it's called ATE. So there they have people who help us all the time. They provide books for us, so they let us borrow them throughout the whole semester. So I think that is super amazing. They help us prepare for state exams. They just have so many like resources that help us. And I mean, this is just a college of education. So I'm pretty sure that they have stuff like this, for like all the other colleges, like the College of Business. they have the career center, which is great. They help them with everything that they need. So yeah, all you have to do is really like research, what the school has to offer.
So for me, I didn't speak on it, but the resource that helps me the most is the Roadrunner Pantry. Basically, if you needed to save money on groceries, or if you're falling low on money and you don't have enough for groceries, they could help you with that. It's just all food, any food items, really perishable, non-perishable, fresh food items as well. Um, you can go every single day of the entire week. You just need to bring UTSA ID, and you can leave with at least 15 items, even a pillow, which is really interesting. So that's what I use. And yeah.
Awesome. Yes, excellent responses. And it's true. There truly is a resource for everything. Anything that a student may need, there is a resource on campus to help you and help the Roadrunner community. So we did get a really good question from Bailey. She is interested in enrolling into the School of Business. So she's asking, how does the enrollment process work? And if she's accepted into UTSA, is she automatically admitted to the program? So Andres was kind enough to share, and Kevin, we're going to have to share some links about the College of Business. But Natalie, could you touch on what are some of the key steps of starting that enrollment process and applying and things and the importance of also touching base with your admissions counselor?
So me personally, I'm not too familiar with the business process. I do know that once you get admitted to UTSA, you're not automatically admitted to the business program. The business students, I believe they have to take a few classes before they're accepted into their major. But that's all that I really have on that as well. The links that they provided can give you more in depth about the whole process going into business and that application.
Sure, excellent. And thank you, Natalie. And also thank you, Kevin, for adding that other comment. Yes, if you meet the College of Business requirements, then when you do apply, then that will help you get where you're trying to go. But also, as Dela shared the information on how to determine who your designated admissions counselor is, any questions you have about the admissions process and getting enrolled as a Roadrunner with UTSA, they can definitely help you with that. I do have another question. One of the questions we get a lot is about the student to lecturer ratio and what the classrooms typically look like and the way that courses are offered. So Stephanie, can you elaborate on that a little bit for me?
Yes. So sophomore year, they will be very full. There's going to be a lot of people. I know that some lectures have like 200. I've heard people say that there's like even up to 300 people in the same classroom. I haven't seen that many, but a lot of people say that there is. Once you get closer to like your program, the classes are going to be a lot smaller. So like your junior year, it's going to be like 30, 40 people, and then now that I'm a senior, I've had classes where it's only like 16 people and some classes that are like, most around 22, 25. And then, there's also classes that have like more students, maybe like 50, 60, but they do have like breakthrough sessions. So like on Tuesday, I'll have that big lecture classroom with the professor. And then, on Thursday, I'll have like another classroom with like only 20 students. So that's really, really cool. And then for my college, I also had to like get accepted first into the program and take a few classes. So I didn't like get admitted right away.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, the class sizes really do vary, but overall, that ratio of students to lecturers is going to be 32 students to one lecturer instructor. Natalie, could you elaborate on the importance of meeting with your academic advisor?
Definitely. So your academic advisor is going to help you in so many ways. You think you want one specific career, but it may just be too broad or not as specific enough. So they'll let you know of other careers that you had no idea existed and that are more fitting to your liking. So I know my advisor, she helped me realized that I wanted to do more of like the social, mental health counseling side of psychology rather than like the researching side and diagnosing. So getting in touch with your advisor at the beginning of the semester and at the end of the semester as well, even in the middle, they'll let you know like if you're falling short on classes and what you need to do, and they'll let you know about all the other classes that you're eligible to take, all the other interesting classes that you're trying to get into, and definitely with your advisor. My advisor honestly is really cool. I love him. He's amazing. Well, I have a new one now, but it's very crucial to keep up with your advisor because they care about you and they're going to get you to where you need to, and they're going to try to have you graduate on time or even earlier.
Absolutely. Thank you, Natalie, for sharing. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'll share again with our visitors today. Before I worked in the Welcome Center, I did work in one of UTSA's advising departments. And unfortunately, there's a pretty significant amount of students who don't meet with their advisors regularly enough, and don't follow the plan that has been laid out for them. And sometimes it can set them off track and cause them to spend more time in school, which depending on how you look at it can be a good thing. But for most who are trying to finish in a certain amount of time, it's really important to just touch base with them. If you're considering going off of the track of your degree plan that's been laid out for you, definitely make sure to consult with them first. It's also really cool because they do put your degree plan in a software that we have through your ASAP account called DegreeWorks. And it's actually, as a student, pretty satisfying to see the progress that you're making as you finish classes and see what you have to take next. It also helps in the registration process as well. We do have, let's see, I'm going to ask one more question. Let's see. Do you have, Stephanie, you can answer first, please, if that's okay. Do you have a favorite event that takes place on campus?
I love UTSA Fiesta and I love Best Fest. So they're both really, really fun. There's a lot of food, there's a lot of just so many activities to do. And during Best Fest, they have like a little carnival set up. So it's really, really cool. And there's music and I think it's a great way to be like involved with like your community, with your university. You're supporting organizations and it's really, really fun.
So my favorite UTSA event, it doesn't take place on campus, but it is hosted by UTSA. It's the Rowdy Bash. UTSA gets Six Flags shut down, but only open to UTSA students, which is really awesome, and they'll have guest performers. Last fall we had T-Pain, and he was hilarious, and I love roller coasters. So that event tops all the other events. It's the top tier event at UTSA.
Excellent. Both are great responses. Both are great, like fun events. I do apologize, y'all. My apartment decided to start power washing just outside of my door, so if you can hear that, I do apologize. I do want to, if that's okay, Dayla, ask one more question to Natalie and Stephanie, since we do have some visitors here. Natalie, if you could give any advice to an incoming student, what would you give them? And then Stephanie, if you could answer after her as well.
Just be self-disciplined. Self-discipline is the key to college and how to really succeed here, because if you're on top of yourself and realizing I'm doing something wrong, or I'm lacking behind, I should do something about it, that's going to get you far in college. And that's all that I really have, just self-discipline. And what comes with self-discipline is also time management. So if you're self-disciplined enough, your time management skills will fall into that as well.
I would say time management for like your time. Do not procrastinate. It's easier said than done, but like you'll go a long way. Like if you don't, or if you try to like start like weeks ahead, like what I like to do is I like to open a document whenever like my professors tell me that I have something big, due in like 2 weeks. So that way it's already there and I just start brainstorming. So then like towards the end, I'm not just like so overwhelmed. But it's really hard like if you don't manage your time, because then you never know when you're going to have like technology issues and then you don't submit something on time because of it. So yeah, that's my advice.
Excellent, ladies. Thanks so much for sharing those that insight, that wealth of knowledge with our visitors today. Yes, Bailey asked a great question about having a car on campus. Thank you, Kevin and Channing, for answering that question. That about wraps up our Q&A. If you do have any questions, please continue to put them in the chat box, and I'll go ahead and pass things along to Bela.
Thank you so much, Madeline, for heading up that Q&A time. Thank you, Stephanie and Natalie, of course, for answering those questions, as well as our other chat ambassadors for tag teaming and providing some additional responses. Finally, to our guests, thank you for asking questions. We many times know that people have questions. Obviously, sometimes they don't know what to ask, but have questions. So I definitely appreciate you as well for asking them. We will remain back on the call for probably another 5 or 10 minutes at our official and formal conclusion here momentarily. So if you have any extra questions, don't worry, we will stay behind to answer any other questions that you have. And then we also will provide our contact information. So if you're one who doesn't have any questions right now, but know you might have some later and need to know how to get a hold of us at that point in time, you'll have a way to do so. Most of my time at the institution, I used to work in admissions, and one of the things that I would harp on with no shame is that it's necessary to bookmark the Future Roadrunner portion of the university's website. Obviously, for example, some great information was shared by the chat ambassadors about some of the requirements for some of the areas of studies that have their own admission requirements, which are separate from the general admission requirements. That information, fortunately, is on the Future Roadrunner portion of the university's website. So definitely encourage you from all areas, moving through the admissions process generally, needing to know about a specific college at the university specifically and what it requires, housing, parking, meal plans, orientation. We've all got it housed at that portion of the website. So definitely saving it will be so helpful for you. And obviously, staff information will be saved there as well. So if you need help navigating the website, you'll have a way to do so. Following us on social media at UTSA Future RR obviously is going to be a great resource for you. One of our mottos or phrases at the institution is that once you become a Roadrunner, you are always a Roadrunner. We absolutely look forward to making that declaration along with those that UTSA ends up being a fit for. We did just drop the link for that form for any who were not able to register in advance to fill out here and now. If you did register for today's time, don't worry, this doesn't pertain to you, but if you're one who perhaps saw a tweet on Twitter encouraging, announcing that the visit was going to take place and encouraging you to jump on into it, this would be more so for you, just again, so we can document your visit. The email address that you can send any other questions that you have after today's time is welcome.center@utsa.edu. We definitely exercise to get back to you in a timely manner to answer any questions that you have, as well as provide information as it pertains to the source of that info. We also will be providing a link to our survey/feedback form for you to let us know how your time went with us, specifically what you found profitable or helpful about this afternoon's visit. Of course, another reminder, other virtual info sessions that are going on. So if you know, well, hey, I need to know more about admissions. I need to know more about what I need to submit after being admitted. We do have sessions available for you. Full list of those sessions is also going to be on the Future Roadrunner portion of the website. So this is going to be the formal conclusion, if you will. So if you're one who doesn't have any questions or just need to run off, be a piece to go now. But a reminder, we will stay back to answer any questions that any guests who have them have. Thank you so much for being with us. Go Runners.